Test 1, 2. Oh, So I just got to get out the yells first.
You do this at every shoot.
yeah. Even if
At weddings.
yeah, just checking like the groom's the mic. Like, hey man, just gonna put this. I just got to test. On that note,
That would be
how's it going, Nick?
good, mate. How are you?
Oh, it's good to start this podcast nice and raw and just
Start on a light note.
man, I just woke up, so this is good. I'm in a good mood. I've got my coffee.
I was going to say, you've got your coffee.
You've got your coffee. How is it, man? Is it still too hot to drink, or?
Probably my tender mouth.
Yeah, this one.
Welcome, one and all, to In Focus Out of Touch.
Welcome, guys.
A podcast with two video dudes. Trying to. You know what, Sean?
What?
I should probably hit record on my audio.
Oh, that would be helpful.
Record.
Welcome to IFOT, everyone.
Welcome.
Where we
welcome.
totally didn't speak for 1 minute until we realized Nick's mic wasn't recording.
Just wasted this banter. We were talking about how early it is on a Sunday morning. You've just woken up.
Man, I'm in a great mood. I don't know
I can
what
tell.
it is.
I love this energy. So welcome to In Focus Out of Touch.
Welcome,
I'm
guys.
Nick. This is Sean.
Hello.
We are two video dudes trying to make it in this wide, big,
This wild
scary world.
of marketing and
Getting
cowboys who just bought a DSLR. It's crazy. It's a crazy word out there.
Cowboys who just bought DSLRs. Yeah. Tell me more.
Well, you know, they wear big buckles and wide-brimmed hats, and they wear big black boots and just walk around with DSLRs and try to film weddings, and then they charge 50 cents.
I wondered who that was.
Full
Okay.
highlight.
Okay. So I should ditch my cowboy hat.
Yeah, no, that's you know, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh dear. So what have you been up to, buddy?
What have I been up to? Mate, I filmed some how would you call it? Some, I guess, interpretive dance art last night.
Interesting. Tell me more.
Yeah, well, it was in South Bank in Brisbane. There's actually a new sort of outdoor venue called Flow State. It's where, I don't know if you ever spent too much time in South Bank, but it was where that like sort of oyster shop was. There was like a fish and chip shop. There's like a sort of string of like shops, but they just got gutted, and now it's like a outdoor performance venue. And this is like one of like the first few. So earlier yesterday, they actually had Magda Zabansky. Is that how you say it? Magda
Yeah.
Zabansky. Yeah. The Australian icon. Yeah.
The comedian?
Yeah, the comedian.
Yeah.
So she was there during the day apparently. And I got called up last minute for a just filming gig of this live thing, which is pretty interesting. Not sort of my cup of tea, but I'm glad I saw it. It was a little bit different.
Contemporary art.
Yeah.
Or especially it's performance art basically.
Yeah, it's basically like these two guys on stage, and the whole theme of the show was based around, I think, not like men's rights, but you know how like there's like a lot of issue that men face in the world that aren't really sort of vocalized, and you know, like sort of like prostate cancer and like male violence and things like that. That was sort of like the underlying theme of the show.
Right.
But it was like said throughout performance dance, and I really enjoyed it, but like it was just crazy stuff happening.
I think the danger there is that you misinterpret the moves, because I didn't record this one, but I had to edit. I think it was last year. I edited a performance dance art thing where you had this massive dance troupe, and I think it was somewhere in South Bank as well.
Right.
And it was a performance for children about media, about multimedia and the devices that kids could watch. But it was the most trippy thing I've ever seen, with black lights and glow in the dark floating faces. It was terrifying for me to edit, let alone a room full of kids.
Is it one of those cool like light shows where they all wear like black like morph suits, and it's like?
But it was so weird because I was
on.
trying to think what are they actually trying to communicate here, and the only thing I could come up with was they've had a few Red Bulls, they want to dance. I couldn't. I'm just
People
not
are into that, man.
I'm not
Don't judge
cultured
them.
enough to interpret dance like that.
Yeah, I don't think anyone. Is it meant to be interpreted? Like,
Well, isn't that the point though? You can kind of.
I think the point is just like you
Communicate
get
through
your own
dance.
meaning out of it, like whatever it means.
Okay.
I don't know. Does it like? Do the performers even know what it means?
So
That's what I
saying,
wonder.
So you're saying it can mean anything.
It's like art house film where it's just like, oh yeah, like all this weird stuff happens. Like at the end, Finn, like, all right, what do you think what it means? And then like the director gets asked, like, oh well, like in an interview, like, oh yeah, well it's up to the audience to decide. Like, you don't know what it means.
Idiot.
You're full
They
of
ask
shit,
you a
mate.
question. Answer it, you muppet. You're dodging it.
It's so true, though.
Okay, so I think I can take that lesson. That's a good lesson. I can apply that to client work, I think. So the next time a client asks me, Nick, what have you done here? I can say, what do you think I've done here?
That's a good question.
And they go, you've done shit.
Yeah,
Alright.
you just
Well,
answer
that's your
a question with a
interpretation. It's not my interpretation. This is like the best loophole ever. We've got to learn more from the creative arts, I think.
That's it.
Get
That's
some
it.
inspiration.
Just confuse people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they feel like they're like, well, I'm dumb if I don't know this, so I'm just going to have to... Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I thought, what do you think it means? Yeah, I thought the same. Yeah.
So in other news, so what's been happening on the internet lately? Have you seen anything?
You know
anything
what?
interesting?
I've got to say, this week I've actually been kind of internet light. Seen a few things. I mean, some obviously terrible news from America last week. That was obviously not great times over there at the minute. But I've got to say, nothing's jumped out for me. Actually, no, I lie. Excuse me, Sean. I lie. I actually got a bit of inspiration this week because I saw a bike shop, like a motorcycle shop. A bike shop, is that what you call them? Yeah, I think if you want to be cool, you call them bike shops.
Probably, yeah.
You know,
They
like
sell
a
motorbikes?
really custom
bike shops.
shop though.
Yeah.
So here in Brisbane, I think it's newish. It's opened up in the Valley, I think.
Yeah, right.
A mate of mine sent a video that they've just released, and it was this high concept promotional piece that featured one of their bikes, but it wasn't about their business. They'd made this story, they'd made this film about this preacher who was riding to an exorcism. So it was grungy, dark, and it was fantastic. I was really entertained by it. It was just I think it was like a 1 minute piece.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really cool to see a like an actual business say, hey, we want to just go down the creative route. We don't want to say, this is our bike we're selling, this is how much, these are the features and benefits. They wanted to create a bit of buzz around it.
Yeah, nice. So it's more like it's more just like entertainment rather than
more
hopes that
entertainment,
they get some recognition.
I got, I definitely, I was hit with the inspiration bug because I was like, yeah, I really like content like that. I try and make it. We've talked about this before. I try and make it for myself for my YouTube channel, and I try and push the creative envelope a little bit with client work, but I've never really taken it that far. I haven't actually been even brave enough to give it a go, so I'm gonna start doing a little bit of development, a little bit of pitching,
nice.
maybe some spec work.
See if you can get a budget out there from someone.
Yeah, but I think
Do
if they can
something cool.
see it working, if they can see it in place, that I think could be fun to do, because I like the idea of kind of going to work on a film set. I love that.
Yeah,
And
nice.
so I think if you can kind of blend it in with client work, that'd be pretty cool. So
Did you, speaking on like custom motorbikes, did you ever get into that show, American Shopper?
no, I
back in the day?
didn't. But every time I go to, I think it's like Groove Train cafe chains or something like that. There's one near us. For some reason, they go in between that and MTV. It's just on in the background on TV.
Yeah,
It's
right.
Really, I don't know why. So I know the show you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, I used to watch that show so much. It was
So
just,
you into bikes?
no,
Okay.
no, just that show.
So what interested you about it?
Okay, I'm about to get into that. So, yeah, like the show based it around like I can't remember the people's names. Like their last name was like Tudley or something, and yeah, it was like this father who's like sort of middle aged, just like absolutely just beefed up, and he's like constantly always angry, and he's like always getting in fights with his son, who also was like the lead bike designer in the shop. And it's just the drama between those two.
The entertainment again.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So the entertainment. So that was like the whole show. The bikes were just just became just like nothing.
Kind of
like
secondary
to the actual.
You know
show
what?
bits.
I used to rip the shit out of people who would watch content like that, or if I would have this guilty pleasure. But I like looking back on it now. I'm like, you know what? We like to be entertained.
Yeah, mate.
Some people like to be entertained via Jersey Shore.
Normally I don't like reality TV. Lately, I actually just finished the latest episode of latest season of Australian Survivor.
Australian Survivor, is that
Yeah.
still going?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
But that I think is a little different, because
I love it, man.
you've kind of got an objective in there, if that makes sense. Whereas most reality TV programs are just
Yeah, they're pretty
garbage.
shit. But man, I'm on like a massive Survivor bender right now on YouTube as well, just watching past clips of. Dude, that's like 37 seasons of the American show.
Oh my
It's still
God.
going. Like they do 2 seasons a year. Like it's
Bloody hell.
crazy.
2 seasons a year.
Yeah,
Wow.
and like each season they'll just do some crazy shit. Like they'll like, they have no boundaries. They'll just like do anything. They'll throw in like extra teams. Like they'll bring people back after they've been voted out. Fucking like they'll just like take away their rations for no reason.
They throw out the rule book.
Like I think in the later season I was reading up an article. They're like, oh yeah, our doctors recommended we give them this much rice and beans. We're gonna half that and see what happens.
Interesting.
Like they're just to fuck with it. Like, but no, like it's more like the
Forced labour camp entertainment.
no, but it's like a real mind game. You know how I'm
Yeah,
like
yeah.
heaps into like board games and stuff.
Yeah.
And
If I'm not playing a mind game with at least one person a day, I'm not
It's-
fulfilled.
yeah, I know, right? But yeah, it's just like it's fascinating, like the social dynamics in that show. Like trying to not get voted out, making alliances with people, then like winning challenges, and then suddenly you're like the most hated person on the tribe. Then you win immunity. Then like just completely ruins
Yeah,
everyone's game plan.
I see. I see what you're
Like,
getting at. So
it's amazing.
It's
I
the
love it.
social experiment aspect that you kind of like.
It's a social experiment, bro.
Yeah. Have you seen the film? I watched it last night. The Stanford Prison Experiment. I was going to say the Belko Experiment.
No.
I said something else.
No, what's that?
entirely. Stanford Prison Experiment was this experiment in the 1970s, I think it was, where they put a bunch of college students together and they say, okay, half of you are guards, half of you are prisoners. You all have to stay in this prison for 2 weeks,
Oh yeah, I think I've heard of
and
this.
that's it.
Yeah.
And within day 2, it's mayhem and violence has erupted.
Yeah.
And it is a good film, actually.
Yeah.
Recommend on
Is it
Netflix.
a
Recommended picks.
documentary or is this a
No,
just a film?
it was a drama. I think there is a documentary about
'Cause
it.
I think it actually happened, right?
It
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
happened.
yeah.
But this is a dramatization of it. But yeah, pretty good film.
Nice.
Pretty good film. And that's currently on Netflix.
Very nice, man.
Not a sponsor.
Very nice. Sponsor. Just plugging our code IFOT into netflix.com/IFOT
Yeah.
for
It will
nothing off. Nothing will happen.
No, I think it'll actually add more money.
But you'll be able to watch Cloverfield Paradox and waste an hour and a half of your time.
Not a good film.
you watched it too?
No, so I've heard bad things.
Oh,
I
not
love
good at all.
I love Cloverfield 1 and 2.
So
and
bad.
Shame.
I got through half of it, literally fell asleep, and then had to finish it the next morning.
Oh no, that's not good. But they just rebadged it. It was something else
Oh,
entirely.
definitely. Like watching it, like if you know anything about film, you're like, this was originally not a Cloverfield film.
Right.
This is something else. They're like, oh yeah, suddenly mention aliens and monsters, and then
Right.
like, oh yeah, just
There's
film
a
this extra
tie-in.
scene. Like suddenly
Yeah.
it's a Cloverfield movie.
Yeah.
Like sell it to Netflix. Oh, let's like scam people. All right, let's throw $3 million chucking it on the Super Bowl ads. Apparently, I think they got like 7 million downloads last week.
What? Smart marketing.
Yeah, smart marketing. Like everyone
millions.
involved knew what it
Yeah.
was. They're like, oh shit, how are we going to sell this piece of turd? Like, let's just scam people and then like.
Media buyers, filmmakers, and business owners, take note.
Instead of spending $100 million on advertising,
Yeah.
just fucking put one ad and
make
do that.
absolute shite and put it in on the Super Bowl.
I'll tell you, they got me. They got me.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I'm not even mad. It's essentially free. I didn't have to pay for it. Buy a movie ticket for it. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I did see something else good on Netflix though the other week,
Oh,
last
yeah?
week as well.
Yep.
Struggling to remember. The Ritual. Great film. Little British indie film.
Right.
The Ritual. Really good.
Yeah.
Check it out.
What's all that about? Is it something? If you tell me anything about it, it'll ruin it?
I think it would. What I'll say is it's a group, a group of mates from I think uni or something like that go hiking in Sweden, but a remote part of Sweden. That's all I'll say about it. Pretty good.
Nice.
Pretty good.
I don't think I've ever asked. Like, what's your? Do you have a top film or like a top few films or like a genre you always attach yourself to?
I do like genre films that do follow the tropes of each genre. I don't know if I have a favourite film. I think that's too hard because, I think of films like The Shawshank Redemption, what is for me one of the best films ever made.
Yeah.
But then I also like action and thrillers and comedy. Baby
It's
Driver,
pretty hard,
one of the best films last year is
Yeah.
Baby Driver. So it's really tough. I definitely get pulled in by certain filmmakers though. Edgar Wright, Wes Anderson, Frank Darabont, The Shawshank Redemption. So yeah, it's hard. I heard that question asked of. So Tropfest was last night.
Oh really?
Short film festival.
Didn't even hear like about it.
Yeah, I didn't even realise. Apparently, it's streamed on YouTube as well.
Man, yeah, like film festivals, like I completely lost interest these days.
Have you ever gone for one?
No, it's like in in film school and stuff, the films you make, you'd aim to like submit them, and then they come out not great, and then you're like, never mind.
And you're like, yeah, I don't want
Don't
to
wanna show
waste
this to
people's
the
time in the film festival with this. So.
The other night, I recently watched one of the films I made during my days at Griffith University.
If Only Lemons.
It wasn't even that. It was a film called Catharsis. It's on my YouTube channel.
Sounds deep.
People might be able to find that out.
Put it in their show notes.
But it wasn't as bad as I remember it.
Oh, that's good.
But I shot and directed it.
Yeah.
And had like other team who wrote it and sound and stuff. And like I was like, damn, the cinematography, it's not that bad.
Oh, awesome.
It's pretty good. I shot it with the 5D Mark II with a Canon Nifty 50.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Can't go wrong.
It was like surprisingly acceptable.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's actually good that you can go back after a few years and go, you know
normally
what?
that doesn't happen when I watch
don't mind that.
some of my stuff.
Yeah. Oh, God, I hate everything I make
Yeah.
because I'm bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done. I used to. When I first started making short films, actually, I was like, you know what, I'm going to make this amazing short film, get it into a film festival, meet a producer who's going to open their wallets, and I'm going to be a paid filmmaker. That was my kind of trajectory, and it was at that time that YouTube had been around for 6 or 7 years by then, but it was seeing a lot of filmmakers, a lot of content creators in America especially kind of really take YouTube by the by the horns and kind of create this really entertaining, some of it really genre driven as well, content, and it kind of bypassed the whole festival route where maybe if you're lucky a room full of 30 people will watch your film a couple of times during a festival, of which you've got to wait 12 months if you want it to get into a good festival. I never did, but you can't show it online, you can't show it, and so that to me, I was like, I think that's pointless.
Yeah, man. I love the internet. Like,
yeah.
I've said this many times. I love technology. I love the internet. I love how we can just show our stuff and just post it all around the world. Like that Vietnam doco video I made.
Yeah.
Got so many more views than like I could have screened for,
Yeah.
like anywhere.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy. I just want my like stuff to be seen, right? And
Yeah.
then like yeah.
And because like to me, that's the stuff that really enables you to then keep creating more content anyway. And yeah, so I used to really want to win Tropfest. I used to want to make films for Tropfest. And look, the people, you know, I listened to an interview with the woman who won Best Film from last night. She was asked, "What's your favourite film?" She picked Submarine. Have you seen Submarine?
Was that?
I forget the filmmaker.
Oh, did it
A
have?
few years ago.
Does it have Owen Wilson in it? Am I thinking of?
No, I think you're thinking
Life
of...
Aquatic.
Yeah, that's a great film. Wes Anderson?
Yeah, Wes Anderson. Yeah.
That's a great film.
No, I haven't seen Submarine.
uh,
no, Submarine. I do know of it. Is that Richard Ayoade?
Yes,
directed
yes,
it?
exactly
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
I haven't seen it though.
No, me neither.
Okay.
But she said it's her
Yeah.
favourite film, and but yeah, I thought, oh man, I haven't thought about entering a film festival or creating content for a film festival for a long time. So I was just interested in hearing your thoughts.
I feel like people who win Tropfest now have they're like attached to like big names, like they have like a big actor in their thing. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, because it is competitive. Any kind of big festival is competitive.
Yeah, you have to be
so,
serious if you're going into
yeah,
that.
you have to have talent, but you know, that's why it's probably not uncommon to see you've got some named actors in or at least some familiar faces. You're like, I'm sure I've seen that person before, and producers who play in the high-end commercial game, and yeah. So what else have you seen on the net the last week?
What have I seen on the net? I got into speaking on this Will Smith train.
I think we should speak about Will Smith every week.
Yeah, I think that's just be a thing. Just
Yeah.
like, okay, guys, this is Will Smith chat, part of the podcast where we speak about everything Will Smith, Will Smith YouTube, Will Smith movies, just Will Smith facts. And here we go. Roll the intro.
Will Smith.
Will Smith.
And that was it.
That was it. It's just Will
No
Smith.
No facts.
No, so I have been watching some Will Smith YouTube.
Go for
He was it's episode I think 2 of his like Sydney escapades.
it. I did see it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I saw the thumbnell. Didn't actually watch it.
Okay,
but
yeah.
I saw it out.
It was like going on a jet boat on Sydney Harbour, and like he had his like whole posse, and they were all filming him, just having a good time, and like someone just started to like take up a drone on this like jet boat as it was moving.
Oh my god.
And like it was such an effort. He like tried to take it off once, and like sort of like fell into the side. Then they had to like try it, like taking it off from someone's hand, and they did that.
Oh.
Then like later in the episode, the guy just is in not the MCG, the Sydney. What's the Sydney AFL Oval called?
The SCG?
SCG?
No.
Anyway, Sydney Stadium.
The place where they play sports in Sydney.
Sports venue. And so yeah, they were just hanging around there, and so the guy like takes his drone up in the middle of there as it gets over the lip of the I guess like the stadium, like the wind just like blows his drone over into Sydney City, and it's like it just gets lost.
Oh dear.
But yeah, like the whole rest of the episode, Will Smith's just like paying him out. Just trolling him
for killing someone.
He buys him a new drone at the end of it.
Okay, that's good.
Pretty nice.
That's good. So someone potentially could find a drone in Sydney that Will Smith touched.
Yeah. So I just like completely ruined that whole Will Smith vlog, but definitely go check it out.
Hashtag spoilers.
So what Will Smith facts do you have on this inaugural episode of Will Smith Facts?
Will Smith is married.
He does movies.
He has children.
He is a man.
He has hair.
He is also losing his hair.
Is he really?
Yeah, slightly. Yeah,
well,
it's getting
he's
there.
Old.
It's proceeding.
Now.
I can see it. It's happening.
All right, we'll see if he starts up some merch.
Yeah.
That's the
Buy
signal
that
when he
merch.
buy that. No. So interesting though that Will Smith. So he's obviously playing the vlog game.
Yeah.
Vlogging is insanely popular for kids on YouTube now. We obviously were just seeing the classic Jake Paul. Was that his one? Chris by that merch? Yeah, I think it was Jake Paul.
I think so. Yeah, I only know it from
his brother's back vlogging.
Oh,
Have you
really?
seen that?
No. What's he
the
doing?
only reason I know about it is because a lot of
I know he was like tasing rats recently.
yeah.
I heard
So
that.
I only know what they're kind of doing through these commentary channels like H3 or all these other people, and apparently he was tasering, shooting a taser gun with taser darts into a rat, a dead rat, and tasering it.
Yeah, I think the only way these people get popular is by talking about them. So
Yeah.
if we don't talk about them, they'll just go away. So anyway,
Let's delete the last few minutes.
just delete the lot. Just
Let's
erase
wind it back
that
to Will Smith.
from your memory.
So yeah, I'll make sure to catch up on my Will Smith facts for next week. That
Do
was
it, man.
Will
Gotta
Smith
do it.
facts.
Well, thanks for that's the end of this Will Smith fact segment
back
of
to
the
our
podcast.
regular programming.
Back to regular program. Yeah. But actually, I finished editing my Europe video.
All done.
It's all done.
Great. How long is it?
It's 40 minutes, 41 minutes.
That's cool.
It's a very accessible
Wow.
time limit. I thought it was going to be 2 hours because it was like a 6-week trip.
Wow.
But it's like very fast paced and like much more entertaining as my first one.
So how many countries?
I want to say 14.
Wow,
14.
that's a lot. You
Yeah,
covered some
13,
ground.
14. Yeah.
Okay. So
Like-
what was your favourite bit out of that whole?
Scotland for sure.
so-
The Scotland part of the video is like
yeah, I was
15
going to say is
minutes
that
long.
reflected in the video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Scotland's just beautiful, man. Like there's so much like scenery, and just got to climb up like a snowy mountain, and spent New Year's there. Man, like Hogmanay Festival, like where there's like Vikings walking down the street in Edinburgh. Yeah, it's a great video.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Did you learn any Scottish phrases?
They say cow coo,
That's pretty good.
and that's about it. They say wee a lot. It's like a wee little
They
coo.
do. They do.
And they say I as yes.
Yeah.
You know, if you like spend a few days in Scotland, you'll start like picking up. Apparently, I and we are like the first two words like people start picking up.
Aye, oui.
Aye, wee laddie.
What do we have in Australia that's like that no one else uses?
Man, we actually have a lot that we don't realize. Like
Probably hey as a question at the end.
hey. Yeah, I guess.
You know.
Yeah.
I don't. Now I'm trying to think. I can't actually
It's
use it in a sentence.
I think heaps is a one.
Heaps. Yeah.
And then we say, there's
Oh.
heaps of chips here.
I get really.
Things like that.
Am I so old that I get really annoyed in news headlines and I hear things like there were heaps of people protesting? There was a crowd of people.
Yeah, it's
or
not
there
a
were
very
lot
journalistic
of people.
language.
Or by the way, I'm really sorry that we're talking about grammar right now to all our listeners.
Welcome to the grammar segment of the podcast.
I'm
Roll the theme
I'm turning
tune.
into a grammar Nazi, and my grammar's not good to begin with. I don't know what's happening with me. I think it's just I'm getting old.
Yeah, you're getting too old, mate. You're a father now. I can see those grey hairs kicking in.
Oh mate, they were
What's
there.
happening?
They were there 20 years ago.
Jesus
unfortunately.
Christ.
I know. It's crazy. Hey,
Hey.
see?
Hey?
That's what I did there.
Heaps.
That's what I did there. So this week I made some videos on my smartphone.
Oh, actually, I
My
saw
iPhone
this
in
one.
particular.
Yeah, I saw this one. Do tell more.
So I wanted to share a couple of tips on my business profile page, just because I am asked a lot, you know, how easy is it to just make, what's the easiest way to make videos myself? So my answer to that has always been take out the phone that's in your pocket and start using it. But then I was thinking, I do say that pretty often. How many people actually do it? Hardly anyone. So I thought, well, if I can give people a couple of tips, but about how to do it, but actually film and make it on a smartphone as well. That's kind of the proof is in the pudding. But it was one of the most frustrating videos I've ever made.
Oh, really?
Because so in principle, it is easy to shoot video on a smartphone. If all you want to do, if you want to do like a Facebook Live or Instagram Live and just talk to a phone, that is pretty easy to do, and the apps make it really easy to do. But what's really hard, mate, is when you want to do have things like cuts and cut from one shot to the next, and use the front-facing camera because it's the highest resolution, and so you can't see it. So you've got to keep testing. You can't have a monitor. You can't plug in a monitor for it. So you're framing up and then recording a test, then going back and checking the framing, and then you use apps like whatever as an app that can help you make actually good quality, or that you can control audio levels. Otherwise you can't control audio levels on the phone, and so you can peak if you want it. So it took me, honestly, Filmic Pro, great app by the way, but it kept crashing because it's obviously there's a lot going on in the app, and so it took me all day to make 3 1-minute videos that I honestly would be able to do in 2 hours on a normal camera. So I found it pretty ironic. Hopefully no one who wants to watch those vids is listening. But I was like, this is hilarious. I'm trying to make
look how easy and carefree this is, you guys.
Yeah.
This didn't take me all day to make this video.
Now I get hundreds of videos recorded. It was. I laughed through the day because I thought.
But I think
stupid.
that's like the perfectionist mindset of a video professional.
Yeah.
Like trying to do all those things. Whereas if you're just a guy who's running a business, like you'll just set a camera up and like, hey, I'm gonna talk for a minute.
Totally, because
that's all we mean when we say use a phone.
Exactly. And you do, like, I do want it obviously to look and sound a little bit better than someone could if they just pulled out their phone.
Hey, it goes to show that like this stuff does require a little, like at least a little bit of expertise and like fiddling around.
Yeah.
Even if you're still just using a phone, like you got to set your picture and set your audio. And, like that would be a nightmare not having a lens to like change your framing and
Yeah. So that was my. I was on Struggle Street on Monday afternoon going, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I did it, and some people watched it.
So I heard you've been doing some different targeted advertising as well this week.
Yeah,
you've been popping up on my newsfeed.
Let's start nerding out over data.
So what have you found?
So a couple of weeks ago, wrote an ebook, like I said, and I just wanted to get more emails so I could start marketing a bit more and get more regular kind of jobs coming through. And so I had a bit of an experiment last week, and I was just putting an ad in front of people who had never heard of me versus putting an ad in front of people who had watched some of those videos, maybe 10 seconds or more, and just targeted. I don't want to get too heavy into this because it's so boring, but I think it is pretty cool that you can do it and it doesn't cost that much money. I think I've got about 12 or 13 email sign-ups from putting this video in front of people who had already watched the smartphone video.
Yeah.
And so they'd seen me.
Maybe that's why I kept getting it, because I watched that video and I know it's like for days and days after. You're popping up every day.
It's going to haunt you until you sign up for my fucking ebook, Sean.
I don't want your fucking 5-paragraph. No, I'm sure it's a very well.
It's 4 paragraphs, okay?
I'm sure it's a very well thought out and educational piece of learning.
I don't think anything I've done has ever been well thought out or worthwhile.
I'm a little bit jealous. I got to write my own ebook now.
I just carry around copies and say.
Is it just like a pamphlet? You just like fold an A4 in half?
It's like, single-sided printer paper.
You call that an ebook?
The ink's running out, so the colours aren't quite accurate. And that's I walk around and say, "Would you like my ebook?"
My printer only had black ink, so it's not colour. This version.
My wee ebook. So that's kind of what I've been doing this week. Just nerding out a bit over data. It's pretty cool that you can do something, because with video You obviously you can judge audience reaction if a lot of people are commenting or liking or sharing a video. Obviously, it connects with them, right? But any other kind of post, you don't really know, or you kind of know what the reach is. So it is cool that, you know, if someone wants to grow an audience, you can actually do it. If you've got a little bit of a budget, you can actually kind of smartly do it and actually get something from return. That was the first time I've ever really done that, and it was cool to see a result.
Yeah. So, anyway, like, have you got any new gear lately? Anything exciting, or is
because of the whole smartphone debacle, I was kind of thinking, you know what, I might even nerd out some more and actually create an educational series as kind of like a value add, maybe, or I don't know. I'm just playing around with these little concepts of finding ways to make a little bit of money on the side, and yeah, I think so. What I've actually been doing is buying a little bit of stuff for to help with the whole smartphone things, like little tripods for smartphones and little lens attachments you can get.
Nice.
So I'm going macro. I'm playing in the macro now, and just playing with a bit of small gear. But the only gear I bought recently is to replace things. I keep either lose things or things deteriorate.
I think it's like once every 6 months or so. I'll just go through my kit and like, oh, this thing's been slightly broken for this long.
Yeah,
and you just got to like replace.
Is it worth
all
replacing
shit.
it? Yeah. Had to replace
It's part of the gig.
a hard drive in a RAID. So, you know, that's been my week. So technical and
But
nerdy.
did you have a RAID like shut down on you?
One drive. So
you didn't lose anything.
No.
Nice.
Again, this is where, you know, probably because of previous mistakes a few years ago, I've got a RAID system, so everything gets backed up, and that means if something fails, you actually don't lose your stuff. And so that was quite. I've never had a hard drive fail ever, but then to have that happen a couple of days ago and see it work and recover, and I was like, yay,
Nice.
that's awesome.
Nice, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel professional.
Hey, speaking of like sort of new technology and new things, I've been mucking around with GarageBand this weekend.
GarageBand, is that on Mac?
It's like a free Mac program, and
But it's like music, right?
yeah, dude, there's so much you can do in that. Because
Really?
I've got potentially some videos coming up that I really want to make my own music for.
Yeah.
Just really dumb like MIDI tracks. Like I'll buy like a $50 MIDI controller keyboard to like punch into that, and then like choose an instrument in GarageBand. But yeah, man, that's a lot of fun.
That's cool.
I literally downloaded all the instruments. I was just mucking around for like 4 hours straight, just doing little tunes, and then just like recording my voice into like the computer, and then like just layering like drum beats, and like, man, far out. I felt like I was like 10 years old again.
That's
like,
pretty cool.
So much fun.
So do you have any musical talent whatsoever? Have you ever
I
played
used
an instrument?
I used to play an instrument.
The xylophone?
No, it was
The
a
violin.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was a little muso back then, in I don't know, when I was like between 7 to 11, I think. But played the violin, tried playing the guitar, completely failed at that. Played the recorder in primary school too.
Yeah,
My music
classic.
teacher was like, she was hated by everyone. She was so mean. So I hated learning recorder like every music lesson. But I think and my parents tried to take me to piano lessons as well.
Wow. So
But
it sounds
none of it
similar to me.
worked
My mum really wanted me to play a classical instrument. So of course started with the recorder. I was like, you know, Mum, I'm 18, probably shouldn't play the recorder. And then she put me on to, I remember playing the violin, so it was a very short amount of time. I wasn't any good at it, or didn't like it. So of course she went, you know, well, you need a woodwind instrument, so let's go clarinet. And I played the clarinet for a good few years, never ever liked it, and then entered my rebellious phase and says, I want to learn the drums. So I progressed, and I played the drums for a few years, but I lost all of that. And I wish I had it, because I think it's really cool.
you don't have any rhythm left from your drum days?
I can do the old paradiddle.
Yeah, what's that? What's a
Right,
paradiddle?
left, right.
Nice.
Left, right, left, left.
Yeah.
I lost it.
Yeah.
So no to answer the question. But I do envy people who have a bit of musical talent or actually can produce music, because tell me this, mate, how do you ever get a little bit annoyed or frustrated that you're often having to cut your video content to music that you haven't had a say in terms of like tone and theme and genre?
All the time.
Yeah,
But
I hate it.
That's why I spend a lot of time looking for music.
Yeah.
I'll spend hours looking for the right
so you
music.
really go through the fine tooth comb, yeah.
Like, audio is like 50% of the video, man.
Hell
If the music is not right and doesn't fit the tone of what I'm making, the video is going to be shit. So sometimes I'll even splice together multiple songs. Like, these sort of sound similar, so I like the slow build of this song, and it sort of melds into this other song which sounds the same. So like, I'll pick like a joining point, crossfade. People don't know.
Yeah.
Some videos, like for like a 2-minute video, sometimes I'll use 3 different songs with like different tones to match what I want to do, rather than picking one sort of monotone. Well, I say monotone, but just like sort of like single idea, or like just something that doesn't have a lot of like ups and downs or bounce to it.
Yeah.
So I'll have to put in multiple songs, but yeah, man, it is pretty annoying just to like being forced to like edit around some other person's creation. That's why I'm so excited to like
that's
learn
really
more
cool.
about GarageBand
That's
and
really
like do
cool.
my own thing.
So I've got a mate who has some real, really good musical talent, and he creates all these music tracks for his videos for clients, and they're fantastic, you know.
Really?
And it's really cool, because you get to, that's just another element that, because you're right, like music and audio is half your video, and we often control the visual, we often control how things cut together, but to have that extra bit of control in that other element, not too many people can do that. I think it's really good, mate.
Yeah, I mean, like, instead of like spending 2 hours like looking for a song, spend 2 hours like making a little like MIDI loop and, you know, like chucking that in your video. That'd be sick, man.
Yeah,
That'd be so good.
That's awesome, man. I'm excited to listen to
like
Beats by Sean.
Yeah, like I'll make a SoundCloud and just like start putting up tunes pretty soon. But
You gotta start somewhere, man.
I'm so you better what?
You gotta start somewhere.
Somewhere,
That's good.
yeah.
Get on SoundCloud.
Yeah, so SoundCloud's still alive.
Yeah, I listen. I listen to a lot of stuff on SoundCloud.
I heard they were like shutting down like a year or two ago, but they got some recent funding.
Okay.
And back up again.
I don't know how they monetize their site. But
Neither do I.
Yeah. All I know is that there are a lot of kind of unsigned artists on there, and a lot of people have their music. I've used a lot of music on there for in vlogs and stuff like that in the past that they allow you to use, and yeah, that's cool.
Cool,
mate. Really cool.
On that note,
yeah,
where can people find you? That's all the time we have for.
So
today.
You can find me on the socials at I Be a Film Dude. Links in the show notes. What about you, Sean?
You can find me on socials, Instagram, Sean Smith Video, Facebook, SRS Video. But guys, thanks for listening to another episode of IFOT, the filmmakers podcast of choice.
Oh God!
Which I soon we've become after our 4th episode. So seriously, if you're one of the 3 people who listen to this, thank you.
We're sorry.
Thank you and sorry.
Thank you. We will get better.
On that note, it's been a good chat.
Yeah, great to see you, mate.
It's gonna be good to see you, Nick, and we'll see you all. And we'll chat to you all next week. See you.
See you guys.